Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Becc. I am a spiritual teacher and a psychic channel. It's so lovely to see each of you once more. So glad to be back with you. Today I want to share with you about coherent energy, having a coherence in your energy field and what that means, why it's important and why it serves you. I feel that in our spiritual community especially, there's a lot of focus on when we think of clearing our energy or cleansing our energy or being well in our energy, we think of having a high vibration. And there can almost sometimes be this pressure to have a high vibration all the time, or oh no, something's going to happen. You're going to vibrate low, you know? And we really don't want that, because it's not so much actually, it's not about having a high vibration, though that is something we'll get into, and you'll see how that naturally occurs through coherence. It's not about avoiding and resisting low vibration. It's about having balance and coherence in your energy center, in your heart, which spreads out into your field. And I have some notes here if you see me looking down, because my guide gave me some really cool magical information about coherence, which I love. It was so funny. My guide started talking about, actually one morning it was because I was meditating and I was sitting there noticing that my heart center started going gold, and it started being spiral-like and gold, and I was seeing this gold spiral, and I was like, what does this mean? And I think I knew, but like, what's going on here? As I do with my spirit guides, it's kind of my relationship with them. It's like, what are you guys doing? And my guide was talking about and showing me, and it was becoming apparent that through my meditation and my breath and what I was doing in that moment, basically, I was creating a golden harmonic, or the golden mean. So this is where my notes come in. We're talking about something that we would word as the golden mean or the golden harmonic. And it's actually a expression, you may have even heard it in mathematics, and especially if you already are aware of sacred geometry. The Fibonacci Spiral. This is a kind of energetic structure, a arrangement of energy that facilitates and creates duplication. It is sequential in its nature, and it allows for the breath or the birth of synergy. And all of this is going to make sense as we go on, okay? So by sequential, we mean that it grows itself, and it grows in diversity, and it can build upon itself. And this is really important because we could think of that spiral like a single structure as something that's not going to express anything else, because it's like this one little spiral. But actually, this is the magical thing, and why it's called the Golden Harmonic, is that this particular pattern of energy or structure of energy, the Fibonacci spiral, the golden mean, the golden harmonic, the mean spiral, is actually the blueprint, the energetic blueprint for our kind of root natural vibration and expressions of life. So things and other geometric expressions that energy uses these structures to, it is like a blueprint. Really think about like a blueprint, like for a house or something. You use that to map out what you're going to do, and then you build upon that. That's what is going on with these geometric structures when we look at energy. But the golden mean allows for the building of other structures upon it. And that is what is meant by sequential. And when we come into our center, when we come into what we would call coherence, we are actually aligning to, or allowing, being even, embodying this expression of our energy. And if you consider what I'm saying, it makes sense that that would be healthful and that would be wellness. So my guide was saying that balancing your vibrational range gives you this and allows you to return to this light center in you, the golden harmonic in you. And I keep pointing here because I want to let you know, if you haven't got it already, that this is your heart. This is your heart center. The center is the heart. And when you learn to balance this of you, this part of your being, you allow your light to grow upon itself by virtue of that particular magicalness of the way that that blueprint works. Okay? So my guide was sharing with me and with you guys that if energy falls off or away from this pattern, the distance of the expression, okay, so if we start going over into other geometric structures that are unhealthful, it becomes scattered. The energy becomes scattered, and essentially the message of encodement of the divine light, the way that that structure is built, uniquely allows divine light to flow fully and healthfully. Okay? And if we become away from that, if we become vibrationally out of range from that, the distance, basically, the range of distance that we have between ourselves and that grows. And in that we become, and the energy becomes scattered. So we really want to make sure that we move toward natural energy. This is really the expression of natural energy, and that's why you see these geometric patterns in nature, and there's really cool stuff if you look up sacred geometry about like cutting open a tomato and seeing the magical pattern, or looking at this flower and seeing the patterns expressed in natural life. It is just uniquely, some of those beautiful plants and fruits and things have that full physicalized expression of it. So what we're saying here is that when we move away from our heart, we become incoherent. Our light, if you imagine your light stream, I want you to kind of imagine that you are this flowy light thing, and you come into the heart, and this is where we express ourselves as physical beings, basically where our higher light becomes manifest as you. It's the doorway, okay? So if you come away from here, you're not really vibrating in this range, and you're kind of going over here, and we're not connected to that. And it becomes such that it is unnatural. It's unnatural for us to be away from that, okay? And so incoherent energy, it is dissolved or disabled of this natural pattern. And I'm going to give you some examples to make this even clearer about what is incoherent energy exactly, what does that mean, and what is coherent energy, okay? But what we want to know is that incoherent energy, or being in an incoherent state as well, disables us of this pattern that we need, that we express and use for health, for wellness, for balance, for harmony within your own energy, okay? And also diversity and creativity, because it is that root structure. When we're not here, we're not creative, we're not very inspired with newness. Why? If we really look at the technicality, because we're not in alignment with this blueprint that is needed for that. So what we need to know is that everything has a rhythm to it. These structures, I'm trying to find the best way to put it. I want you to imagine it building upon itself and becoming different shapes and things like that. And that energy stream that I mentioned of not only you, but all life, the flowers, the plants, everything natural life, it follows along that. It follows along that. And so if that gets messed up, it's not following along, and it's not expressing balance and allowing of the highest light that you are, that therefore will bring you into a high vibration, okay, naturally. It is It is more unhelpful to resist lower vibration when it arrives to become more scattered and to become more disabled in that. If we practice coherence, we're actually practicing the unique sound of our soul harmonic. I'm listening to my guide now, who is sharing with me to say this. The unique sound of your soul harmonic is fully expressed when you come into coherence with your heart and with yourself. So I wanted to give you even more example of the idea of coherence, okay? And then the idea of incoherence, so we can really feel it. So when you hear like a really terrible noise, like a motorbike or like gardening tools or something like that, and it has this sound that's like zzzz, and if you look at the energy, it feels like it's going zzzz, and a lot of sensitive people will not like that noise. That is on the extreme end, that's a good example of an incoherent noise. So incoherent vibration rather. We use sound as an example because sound is the purest form of vibration in the current expression and manifestation, or let's say realm that we are in. It's very pure, so I can use that as an example. Again, you can think of like techno music, right? Coming out of your computer speakers. What is that music like? It's very like this, okay? And if it is coming out of something unnatural, and also that music itself is electronically created, right? It has an unnaturalness to it. We could say that it's unnatural. So it is absent of the golden mean pattern that is needed for vibration to be of benefit to us, to be of God, really, to be in its divinity. So if that's coming at you, it's got this pattern, and it's like synthy, and it's like electronic-y. And if you actually look at the energy clairvoyantly as well, it, instead of having these incoherent sounds as our example, instead of having smooth lines that kind of flow like this, and then therefore that light stream of energy flows smoothly, it has just like scattered particles. It looks how it feels, okay? It can look ugly, it can look like not nice colors, but really I always see or feel these particles like shaking like this. And I don't like that as a sensitive person. You probably don't either. So that's an incoherent energy. And then again, incoherence is also something like having lower emotions, but not just having them, but actually when we feed them, when we're charging them, when we're away from our center, we could say we are in an incoherence. And again, if we look at that energy, it has like a not nice colors, and it's kind of not flowing properly and all of that because it's away from this geometric structure. And I want to give you an example of coherence. Okay, so coherent energy or sound, we're going to use that example again. Think of crystal ball sounds. Why is everyone into that lately, guys? Like, why is that a thing? Crystal balls and like going to sound healings and tuning forks and things like that. Because these instruments are producing a tone by themselves. So A, it's natural. It's a natural vibration, a natural sound. And B, because it is that way, it is coherent. It has a smooth quality to it. And because we are a bit like antennas when we interact with other frequencies, we tend to entrain with other frequencies. Ideally, we entrain with our heart and ourself, and that's all we got going on. But the idea of a sound healing is for you to entrain with that crystal ball, or that sound, that vibration, because it is very coherent. And if you start to vibrate in coherence, it will make you well. So that sound, a very pure sound, you can think of koshi chimes, you can think of like even piano, anything that is not making unnatural sound, nature sounds. And we all know that those things have already been reported to be healing. Why are they healing? Because they have a coherent quality to them. They have that connection with the sacred, divine, golden blueprint of the God force that lives in me and lives in all life. And so when I'm exposed to that frequency, if I so choose, I can entrain with that. And it will help me to come into my own coherence. This is why people feel better in nature, and heal in nature. I've had some amazing healings just by walking in the forest, just by being quiet and hearing the birds. Especially if you are a sensitive person, you are probably going to be very responsive to incoherence or coherence in sounds, and energy. So, and I know that's probably like all of you guys. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense, okay? So we've got the option to be coherent, or we've got the option to be incoherent. We've got the option to entrain with coherence. We've got the option to entrain with incoherence. And no matter what kind of not good coherence or great coherence is around you, there is a centralized always coherence inside of you. This is why we do something like meditation, or we connect to the heart, because your heart is naturally vibrating at coherence. It is naturally singing your soul song. When we come away from our heart, we don't feel good. We don't have good emotions. We don't have good thoughts. We don't have good energy, because we have fallen into our own incoherence that we basically, that stuff we carry around in our field as trauma, right? And then our practice is to come back to our center. And this is why meditation can be very healing. Come back to coherence, come back to coherence. And in the light of coherence, things dissolve, things come into coherence. And so the incoherence of you falls away. So I really encourage you guys to think about not so much high vibration, I have to keep myself in a good feeling all the time, because that is something that is not very realistic with the process that we are in right now. Right now you are in a dense realm and you're here to do some stuff and do some work. And so it's going to basically, this whole life is coming into the space of coherence within yourself and making your sound, that light stream that you are, or the harmonic that you are. You guys know I use those kind of interchangeably. You are a song of life and you are beautiful. We are here to really bring ourselves back into coherence and to be able to hold that coherence and embody it. And then anything that we do in this realm, that we vibrate, or we manifest, or we create, itself will be rooted in that divine blueprint, will be coherent. And so we're here to express our harmonic with full coherence. That's really what we're doing. So anytime that you come into your coherence, you are allowing yourself to find alignment with the God in you, the God light in you. You're letting it come through. Okay? So rather than, when that incoherence comes along, because it will, try not to push it away. We can choose, we can change our vibration, and it is good to do that. It is good to kind of feed and nurture yourself and your energy field with high vibration, with coherence, all those things. But it can't get to a point where when those negative thoughts or meditation's not going great comes along, you feel like you're doing something wrong, or you feel like, oh, I'm not cleansing my energy. Because to be 1,000,000,000% pure in the current realm is quite a tall order. And what is actually healing is coming into your coherence, and then your light, as I said, naturally shines through and things naturally fall away. You don't have to get all up in your pain and your stuff and try to figure it out and all of that. Think of coherence and align with the God force in me. if it is not in alignment, if I'm not feeling that alignment or coherence, just come back to my heart. Allowing is the number one thing to bring or allow pain and things like that to yourself in such a way that you transform it, that it transforms through your coherence, not through your resistance or fight with yourself. Again, this doesn't mean that we don't actively, choose to feel good at times and choose to, as I said, feed and nourish yourself by holding yourself in a higher vibration. But it is more about balance. You're here to be balanced, to have the capacity to let those incoherent energies come through you and hold them in your heart, allowing them. So I can allow this. So just as an example, I could allow sadness or something and still be quite coherent. That vibration itself is not coherent. Okay, it's not. But if I go into war with that, I become incoherent. Instead of remaining as the pure sound or sound holder or space holder of that golden mean, that golden harmonic, that says that if I hold it, it kind of says, hey, this is the sound that I want you to make now. It's that active entrainment or alignment, pulling things into a different state, not through force, not through anything other than holding yourself here. And I will add trust. Okay, we only get in the way when we don't trust. And trust in our power and ability. And I will add, of course, sometimes we have to really get in things and we have to express or journal or whatever you need to do with your incoherence. But those things are all a doorway, just a doorway or a helpful tool or stepping stone to help you come into a state where you are so coherent that things just transform through you. Okay? So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have felt like you're just like fighting with yourself to be high vibration all the time. Did you forget about balance? Did you forget about allowing and acceptance and the power, the coherent power of allowing your heart to hold you and allowing acceptance and allowing all of those things? And it is such a blessing to see each of you, and I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you soon.